What is up, you guys? How's everybody's day going out there? I hope it's doing super, super awesome. Well, I'm Ashley with AHM Artistry, and in today's video, we are going to be trying out the brand new NYX Born to Glow foundation. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was on Ulta's website looking at new arrivals, trying to figure out what would be a good product to try out for you guys, what's going to pique my interest, what is new and good in this world, and I came across this foundation. I was like, ooh, NYX back down to $10 for a foundation. I dig that price point. Thank you very much, NYX. We all appreciate that. And also radiant natural finish. Hello. That sounds amazing. It's about a medium coverage, which I've been trying to experiment with some different foundations lately and trying to find one for good, like summery, glowy skin that's lightweight and doesn't feel cakey or too greasy or anything like that. And what was very interesting about the description on the Ulta website is it says it works great for dry and oily skin, which I don't know how that's going to work out. I just don't know, because naturally radiant usually will make oily skin a little more oily, but if it's too matte to combat the oil, then it won't be radiant enough for dry skin. Well, we're gonna find out today how at least it works for dry skin, because that's what I have. It's more like normal to dry during the summer. I'm not as dry just because it's a little more humid where I live. So we're gonna try that out. We're gonna see how that works. And another thing that I have to say good job to NYX on is they offer 45 different shades, which especially for a medium coverage foundation, you don't see that a lot, and especially for drugstore. So good job already on the price point and the shade selection. I tried my best to pick out my shade. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but we're gonna find out together how it works, obviously, in this video today, and we're gonna see how it wears and if it works well and everything. Because that's why we're here. That's why you're here. That's why we're here. Let's do it. Okay, cool. If that all sounds good and dandy to you guys, if you want to see all that, then you know what to do. Sit back, hang tight, and keep on watching. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start slapping this foundation right on my face. I pretty much covered all the topics, price point, everything like that, except when you can get this foundation. So when I ordered this a couple weeks ago in the middle of June, it was available on Ulta's website, and then it's changed to available June 30th. So I don't know if that was a mistake that I got it. I don't know. But then it's supposed to be in stores at Ulta July 7th. And I'm sure if all goes well, I don't know, it'll probably be available at your local drugstores like Walgreens and everything like that, maybe Target, maybe Walmart. So stay tuned and see. Let's see how it goes today first, but that's where you can purchase it. I had a little bit of a difficult time finding my shade match, so hopefully it'll work out because there wasn't really very much information out there. Obviously, it's such a new foundation. NYX wasn't even posting it on Instagram yet. The only way I could really go off of it was the shade descriptions on NYX's website. So I went ahead and did nude because they described it as a light neutral shade, which is usually me. Like 9 times out of 10, that's usually my range. So we're gonna try it. Here's a little swatch of it on my arm so you can see what that looks like in case you have a similar color tone as me, skin tone, color tone, whatever. And let's try a little bit on the side of my face. Let's just see before we go in and apply it. Okay. To me, the lightness is pretty good. That's about spot on. The undertone is a little bit olive. That's not that neutral. It's kind of neutral, but also a little olive tone. So not sure how that's gonna work out today, but we're gonna find out in a couple minutes. So let's go ahead and start slapping it on. I'm not gonna be using any primer or anything today, which is pretty weird for me, I know, but a lot of light to medium coverage foundations that I've been trying lately have been performing really well without a primer. So let's try it without a primer. And if everything goes well, maybe I'll do an update within this video trying it with a primer. I don't know. I'm feeling crazy. So let's start slapping it on. So no primer, but I am going to conceal just one side of my face on my cheeks because I kind of want to see, I usually conceal my cheeks because I have so much discoloration there, but I want to also see how the foundation is built up on its own, how much coverage you get. So that will be this side just on its own. But on this side, I want to see how it pairs when I conceal a little bit more, because even when I do a light to medium coverage personally, I like to cover this area just because it makes it look more flawless and more seamless. And I'm also going to be using a beauty sponge today for this. Okay. There is that, super simple. Now let's take some on the back of my hand. It is quite a creamy consistency, not super liquidy, not crazy thick, but almost on the thick side. And then I'm gonna take the back, let's do what I do with my normal routine. I'm gonna spray my sponge a little bit with this setting spray from Tarte called Stay Spray because I tend to really like it paired like that together. Dip into that foundation and let's pat it and let's see how it goes. I like this setting spray. Don't be scared. I like it because it doesn't change the finish of any foundation. It just keeps it where it is. It just helps with, you know, sticking to the skin really nicely. I don't know about this shade, guys. I look like I have a beard right now, but I don't know. It's a little olive bordering green on me. It is a little bit, but we're gonna see. Maybe once it blends it out, maybe once it dries down, it's not that heavy on the undertone. I don't know, not that neutral in my opinion, but maybe it blends okay into my neck. I don't know. It's blending right onto my bare skin really easy though, I will say that. Coverage is pretty nice also. That's pretty good coverage. Okay. Other than the shade, we're off to a good start, I would consider. Okay, let's put it over the concealer and see how it does over that. I bet it'll help with the color on me too. Oh, it definitely does. I definitely think it toned down that olive undertone on that side. Got a nice little pimple on that side and it seemed to cover up the redness quite well. It doesn't cover up any kind of crusties, but no foundation's gonna do that, honey. You know what? That is more coverage than they give themselves credit for. That's past medium coverage, I feel. Even on, I feel like the side that I concealed is the same amount of coverage that I didn't. That's bizarre. That is bizarre. Unless when I use my sponge, it like picked up too much of the concealer because I don't usually blend out with a sponge, so it could be that. But if that's giving me good coverage on my cheeks, then that's fantastic. I like that. I do like that a lot. Color seemed to tone down a little bit, kind of melted into my skin a little bit better, so I'm digging that. Doesn't seem terrible of a color. We'll see how it dries and when I put all my topping products and stuff, if that changes at all, but it's looking glowy. Has a little bit of a stick to it, so me personally, I'll want to set that because I cannot stand to feel stickiness on my face. I can't, nope, not for me. So I'm surprised. Granted, I will say, I do feel like I had to use like a pretty decent amount. You get 1 ounce of foundation in here, which is pretty standard, but I had to go in with a few dollops, which is more than I would usually need to do. So maybe I just built it up a lot and I didn't realize it, but it's a sponge. I got this much coverage with a sponge. That's unique for me. In my experience, this looks nice. This looks nice. So let me go ahead and do a little bit of concealer. I'll try to like reel it in, not do too much, just do some light setting, everything, finish the rest of my makeup, and we'll see how that looks with everything on top, because I'm digging it so far. So far, so good. Be right back. Okay, real quick, before I continue to highlight my face to Neverland, this side I already started highlighting, but I wanted to show you the glow that this foundation did all by itself without highlighter. Like specifically like around this area where no bronze or anything went. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can. And up here too, there's definitely just like this luminosity to this foundation that you can tell around here is gorgeous, is stunning. It's not greasy, it's not oily, it's not glittery or anything like that. It's just, dare I say, naturally radiant. So good job labeling that as that, NYX, because I agree so far. Again, I'm more on the dry side, so I'm not sure how this would look for oily skin, but it is so pretty. When I was getting ready, applying everything, I was like, wow, you know what? First impressions, I'm really digging it. It's breathable, it's lightweight, and I didn't have to powder that much by the time I was done talking your guys' ear off. I was like, oh, it dried pretty nicely. It wasn't that sticky as when I first touched it, so it started to dry down. I lightly powdered. Now my face just feels like my face. My skin looks like my skin. Hello, the coverage over here is amazing. I don't have to conceal beforehand like I did on this side because it looks the same. I'm really excited about that. So here is everything all done with all my highlighter and setting spray on top, so you can see, and I'll put on the sidebar right here all the makeup products that I use so you can see if that affects anything or anything like that. It's just something that I would normally do in a medium coverage type of situation. So I think what we should do now is let's do a little wear test. Let's see how this wears throughout the rest of my day. It's finally hot where I am, and I mean, who knows if it's gonna stay that way, I don't know, but it's 90s today, and I'll be going outside for a little bit, and we'll be sweating, running around, seeing how everything lasts, and then we can make our final judgments. But right now I'm super impressed. This is better, honestly, than I was hoping for, because I just never know how naturally radiant foundations are gonna look on me. You never know, especially with drugstore, not even especially, even high end, just like anything that claims to have like a, you know, radiant, glossy type of look. This is gorgeous. It looks like my skin got better, my pores look good, everything looks good. So let's hope it wears good. Let's check and see how that all went. Well, slap me silly and call me sarsaparilla, you guys, because I think this looks pretty darn tootin' good. I'm not gonna lie. Wow. Okay. All right, wasn't expecting that amazing. Well, I mean, I was hopeful, definitely hopeful, but this looks pretty darn good. It is over 8 hours of wear. It was like 90 degrees outside. I was running around with my toddler and it looked pretty good, all things considering. Let me zoom you in. Let me show you the goods. Okay, lights are dim when I zoom you in. Overall, the coverage pretty much maintained. I've eaten 2 meals since first filming. And a couple areas have rubbed a little bit on the nose, which for medium coverage, that's typical. However, it doesn't look gross on the nose. It's just, you could just tell there's not as much coverage on that. Cheeks still look good on both sides though. Pores look good. There's a couple areas where it has a little bit of that powdery finish. Say a tiny bit around the creases of the nose and right here. Under eyes look bomb though. Full coverage on the forehead. It doesn't look masky. It's not separating. It's just pretty pleasant. Yeah, just a couple areas where it's slightly more powdery, slightly. I'm impressed. I would say though, I don't look as glowy and radiant. My skin does look a little textured in some areas, but that's pretty typical for me. But I'm not oily. For a naturally radiant type of finish, I was expecting to be oily, especially in my T-zone, but that area is just nice. Just like I look a little bit drier over here compared to how I started, but it's not a grease fest and it's not separating and looking weird in that sense. So it doesn't look like makeup sitting on top of my skin. You know what I mean? That's what I like. That's the problem that I usually have with BB creams and tinted moisturizers. It just looks like it's sitting there and it's just is bad. But this is good. This is a happy result for me. I'm gonna continue to wear this and update you guys if anything changes or if it becomes a favorite or not. I mean, first impressions, it's always hard to say like 100% it's a go, but this is one of the best experiences that I've had from a foundation first off the bat for something that is a light to medium coverage. I feel like it's past medium coverage, but it claims to be like a light to medium buildable, but it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And I even wonder if pairing it with a primer then will change anything. If maybe it will help some of the areas like my nose and stuff, because usually a primer will help it stick. I'm gonna do you guys one better and I'm gonna show you what this looks like on a second day of wear, because I'm gonna wear this tomorrow, because why not? I got time to show you guys everything. So let's see how my second day feelings about this foundation is. All right guys, day number 2 of wearing this foundation, and it's been on my face for 10 hours. 10 hours. I'm loving it. It's looking real nice. I did use a primer today. I used the Makeup Obsession Even Out primer. That's been my fave babe, and they had the most similar ingredients. So a couple of those areas where I thought were starting to get a little bit powdery yesterday, it's not quite as powdery looking today, even after 10 hours. So I think the primer did help a little bit. I still use a beauty sponge. The only difference with like finishing products is I use the Shape Tape setting powder instead of the Hourglass one, and that may attribute to a difference, but I feel, I don't know, could be the primer, could be the powder, I don't know. And yeah, but overall I think it's looking really gorgeous. $10, $10 holla. I love that, raise the roof. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in and checking out my review of the new NYX Born 2 Glow Foundation. Let me know down in the comments below if you plan on picking yourself up one of these, if it strikes your fancy, if it's a kind of a finish you'd be interested in. And I have a lot of fun products coming up that I'm going to be reviewing for you guys. So if you are new here and you haven't subscribed yet, well, now would be a good time to consider just going down and tapping that little red button right there, because I post at least 3 times a week and you don't want to miss out on that. So for now though, that is about it. And I want to say, I hope that every single one of you out there, every single one of you, have a great, freaking awesome, wonderful, glowy, radiant type of day.